Hello, one and all. Hello, Miss V, and hello, my lovely Eric. Love y'all both.
Hey, and he says, hi, Mom.
Hey, sweetie. So we're going to talk about something a little creepy, I guess. But I've always been fascinated by what they call the bog people. And actually, sometimes when I write, meaning to put in blog people, it comes out as bog people. It's like, sorry, people, you're not bog people, and you don't want to be. So anyway, there are these people who are interned in these big peat moss marshy areas, and the chemistry is perfect to completely preserve them. But also they have the sphagnum moss in it. um, well, it kind of leaches the calcium out of their bones, so eventually they're just like deflated rubber dolls. It's so weird. And they use peat, at least until recently. They're not doing it so much. They would cut squares of peat for fuel, and that's how they kind of started discovering them. So most are from Denmark, Germany, Ireland, the Netherlands. Most of them were from the Iron Age, like 500 BC, but then all the way up to 100 AD. One of the best preserved ones is known as the Tollund Tollund. I'm trying to make it all fancy. Tollund. Anyway, Eric, you think you can get the Tollund?
He's laughing because I was kind of freaking out and fretting because as I told you before we got on here, I don't know what this means. Like you text me and I'm like, yeah, I don't know, I'll try. I don't know, but Erik says just hold on, I will take care of you. So I'm just gonna
I just said that, don't show up as you were found in the bog, please.
No, just gonna kind of let it happen. So
Yeah.
he's gonna go do what he does, and I'll
Okay.
just be the conduit.
Good deal.
It's funny because
crickets.
I smell peat moss.
Oh
It's
wow!
funny
I don't even know what that
I
smells like.
I just actually smell peat moss. So
Whoa!
okay, so we've got a thing going here.
All right, tell me about it. What you seeing and
Um,
hearing?
it's kind of like in my own mind, I wanted to see like this coming in, and it was going to be like that.
Yeah.
But it didn't. They didn't enter like that. It was just kind of like a fluidity, just like a movement coming in, kind of like that. Here we are. In fact, some of them, as I'm seeing them, appear very upper echelon, if you will. They look to
Whoa!
be dressed very nicely. Yeah,
How
of
many?
them.
How many do you see?
Right now, there's about 10, 8 or 10 of them here. And it's kind of like if you could see in my mind, Erik always hangs out on my right. And the way that I know that it's Erik is he fills my ear. I almost feel like he climbs in my ear. All right.
Ooh,
So
wet willy.
here.
It's giving you a wet willy.
Yeah, right. He's here. And then it's almost like a semicircle that I can see in my mind's eye.
Well, can the Tollund man step forward, please, as a spokesperson, spokesperson?
This person coming at me looks very small in stature, not a very big man.
Okay.
And he looks to be, I'm going to say he looks to be about 28 or 30, somewhere in there.
What's he wearing?
Actually, he's just got, it's funny because it looks to me like some sort of sack. Like it almost looks like a burlappy kind of thing. Almost like if you could envision what a monk would wear, some sort of robe, and there's a sash, if you will, at the waist.
Okay. Does he have on a hat at all?
In my seeing him, he does not have on a hat, but he has a very almost like he would have a shaved hairdo.
Really? Okay, so what color is his hair?
Looks to be like a reddish blonde.
Oh, okay. How about that makes sense. How about his eyes? Or he can answer. I mean, Mr. Toloman, thank you so much for coming in. You have created quite the mystery over here, and thank you for that because our minds need to keep getting cattle prodded. So, what color are your eyes?
His eyes are green.
Okay. How about your skin?
My skin is fair.
Okay. Can you tell us your ancestry slash ethnic background?
I am Scandinavian.
Oh, Norwegian. Oh, well, it depends on who knows. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
borders change all the time.
Yes.
Denmark, where Denmark is, maybe?
Mm-hmm. He says Norwegian.
Oh, ooh, maybe my husband is the bog person. Come back, is he?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I don't think so. This it's like this. You've got this going on here. He's doing this.
What are you trying to
I
say?
think the humor was lost on him.
Okay.
He's a very serious energy.
Oh, okay.
And Erik is just kind of like, I don't know that Erik's ever hung out or met. Erik says, no, this is a first.
Oh, okay. And any of you other bog people, women, children, etc., or Erik, if you want to join, join in, that's fine. Interrupt us. No, everybody knows I interrupt, and they fuss at me for that, but it's just who I am. All right. So, what's the length of his hair, Veronica, that you see?
It looks very, almost like if we would have a shaved head.
On all sides?
On all sides.
Wow, maybe he had lice. Why do you have your head? Why is your head shaved?
He said it was. I think I'm hearing him say it was a religious thing.
Okay, is it, Erik? Is it a religious thing for him?
It was part of his religion.
Okay.
That men kept minimal. They're minimal. He's saying, Erik is saying, if you would think about a minimalist today,
okay,
that this is what this sect or this group of people were.
All right. What is your real name, or what was your real name?
I was asking him that, and as he came in, and I was trying to get Erik to help me hear it, and the best I can hear is, I don't know if it sounds like Sergange.
Okay.
Sagange, maybe?
Sagange. Okay.
Sagange. I'm not hearing it.
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. You cut a lot. Sagange. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about your mother. No, just tell me about yourself.
He says I'm a very simple man with very deep beliefs on life as I knew it. I'm having a hard time understanding him because it almost feels like it's like this.
Oh, wow.
And so Erik is saying to me, just relax. Erik's saying, just relax and let it come through.
Okay.
I don't
Erik,
know
you can help.
For some reason, I feel like I have a mental block there. So Erik, I'm going to have to have you help me with that.
So Erik, why was she a bog woman? I mean, why is she struggling a bit?
Erik says it's my conditioning. It's because the person might not be in total alignment with it, but I can still be the conduit. But Erik says there's a part of my mind that's fighting it. Okay. I'm just like being honest with what is happening. So yeah. I want to do this. Like I want to do this.
Yeah. Well,
no one forces me.
No.
So this Sagange is telling me that he had a very deep religious reason for his life. It was a sacrifice to the gods. He actually sacrificed his life while he was living to the gods. He was what we would call a very religious, devout person.
So what do you mean you sacrifice yourself to the God? You sacrificed by having a simple life, or?
Mm-hmm. He said you might think of it as what your monks might do in today's world.
Oh.
We didn't possess things, even as to not distinguish ourselves from others, why we shaved our heads.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why did you get into that whole scene?
It was what we knew. It was what we were born into. There was a belief that if you sacrificed and you gave of your life, that the next time you would have much more than you had in this life.
Are you talking about all the people in your community were like that, or were you just?
He keeps calling them a sect.
A sect or a
A
sect?
sect, like a sect, like a.
Oh, SECT.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, SE. Okay,
Yep.
good.
Yep.
What did you call your sect?
I hear tribunions.
Because there was no like written language then.
Tribunions.
Yeah, tribunions. Okay. How did you make money? How did you make a living? How did you survive?
He's shaking his head like this. What is this money? You know, he says that it wasn't about, it was you, if you gave something, if you got something, you gave something. There was a fairness.
So a barter, y'all bartered.
Mm-hmm. He said, yes. And you have to understand, Erik is here with me, but this man is using language that I don't know. And so I'm processing it through Erik, who's helping me process it into today's words.
Oh, cool. All right. So if you had to compare it to an ancient, a language that we know about, even if it's not active now, mm-hmm. What would that language be? And Erik, if you want to, would it be, I don't know, Gaelic or sorts of things it could be?
He's saying you would most understand it to be Aramaic.
Aramaic?
Yeah, Aromatic is what
Aromatic.
Aromatic. Aramaic. I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. I heard aromatic.
Okay. It sounds more similar to Aramaic or aromatic?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting. Mm-hmm. So did you like raise animals to eat, crops, anything like that? Mm-hmm. I don't even know if agriculture was around then in the Iron Age.
He wants to tell you that he was not indigenous to the place where they found him.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Well, that's interesting you should say that, because I understand that from hair sample analysis, scientists are able to figure out all the places to which you have traveled. And so they're trying to figure that out. So save us the trouble. Tell me about your journeys, the origin, like what part of Earth were you born on, what part of Earth were you born, and so on.
He says you would know it as Germany.
Okay. So born in Germany, and then at what age did you leave to either another part of Germany or somewhere else?
I never had roots. I was nomadic. I was all over the place. Oh, he's telling me there's a comparison, if you will, to how the Christ energy moved around the globe.
Oh, okay. Cool. I mean, did you start, were your parents and siblings nomads?
He says I didn't have parents per se. I was part of a group, and you might call this an orphanage in your language.
Oh, so your parents died or were dead?
Mm-hmm. He says I did never know the biology of who I am.
Oh, okay. Well, Erik, can you bring his parents in, his biological parents? Maybe he'd like to, or maybe you already know. I don't know.
He says, let's finish this conversation with me
Okay.
first.
All right. That's fine. Um, so, so what was your childhood like in the orphanage?
He said, I learned very early on to be self-reliant.
Oh, okay.
I was being conditioned. I was being groomed from the very beginning to understand that you don't have stuff. You must understand that you would never be able to visualize the life I lived because there's nothing that exists in this time for
Oh,
me to
wow.
help you understand.
Yeah.
If you could picture, he says, a big caravan, and that's Erik and my word, a big caravan of
Yeah.
people that I'm seeing. And these people were a very eclectic melting pot of
Oh,
people that gathered and they became family. This is how he was raised.
oh,
And there were routine sacrifices, both in literal senses of the animals and of the humans
oh gosh.
and of the way of materialism.
Yes. Okay. So what was the main god you made these sacrifices for?
Mhm. He says there is only one God.
Oh, I
It is
thought
the
y'all were, so
God.
you were monotheistic?
Yes, it wasn't about us creating our own God. We know that there is only one God. This God was worshipped by these groups of people. This is Erik talking now, by these groups of people in the way of the times. So this is
Oh,
how they worshiped their God. I believe I'm hearing, and maybe you quoted a date, but this is way before
okay. Yeah,
Christ.
that's a great question. So they say that they've been finding carbon dating, speed dating by carbon. No, carbon dating, uh, the you guys, the Bog people, between 500 BC to 100 AD.
Mhm.
When did was your life?
He's saying he goes way back before Christ. You know, he's showing me uh, like
240?
100 BC,
Okay. Huh.
maybe. I think I hear 100.
Erik, can you figure it out? Because numbers are so hard.
100 BC. What are you saying? Oh, his physical incarnation was 650 BC.
Wow, interesting. Well, gosh, even before the Iron Age.
Hmm.
Or maybe it wasn't the Iron Age. I don't know. I don't remember from high school. Um, did you leave behind when you died a family, a wife, kids, anything like that? Or were you celibate?
Um, he's saying that he was young when he passed in terms of our understanding of
Yeah,
age, relatively young.
yeah.
And he's saying that he was solo.
Okay,
He remained solo. And he's also saying he remained pure.
okay. That's part of your belief.
Seth,
Okay.
his culture.
Did you
Mm-hmm.
have any kind of illness? I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to have killed you, but any illness, any injury, any kind of condition like a broken bone, lice? I don't know.
Erik is showing me, and he is also projecting out his right leg.
Yeah.
His shin bone was broken,
Oh.
shattered.
Oh gosh, how did that happen?
Mm-hmm. Um, he had what we would understand to be very brittle bones.
Oh, did
And
you have like osteogenesis? Oh, you wouldn't have lived that long. What we
he
know is
says that
osteogenesis imperfecta or rickets, maybe rickets. I don't know.
It was a sign and a symptom of the culture and the time, he said. There were just brittle bones. And again, Erik is reminding us, this was a time when you didn't really do anything about anything. He's showing me that he wrapped it in, it looks to be almost like a linen.
Okay.
Oh, and it would almost mimic like like we would know an ace bandage.
Okay.
It mimics that.
Yeah.
And he said that was, but one of the things he also did was there was a stick or a branch behind the
Oh,
leg.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay, so how did you shatter your tibia or your lower leg?
It was moving rocks, he said. One of the things
Wow.
that we did as a culture was to build housing, and we built them out of rocks, moving rocks,
Ah.
creating barricades, if you will, and just kind of pushing the earth into such a structure that it
Okay.
then became a house, or as you would know as a house, a dwelling.
Um, how and why and who murdered you?
I was not murdered.
What happened? I mean, like,
Mhm.
yeah, what happened? And were you dead before you were placed in the bog? And what
Uh,
happened basically?
he said, I willingly became a sacrifice.
Oh, okay.
And this is where I'm seeing him at about 28 to 30 years old. He was young. Is there any way to know his age?
Oh, I don't know. But, you know,
Did
I
they,
mean, 30 back then is like a million years old in this day and time.
Mhm.
Um,
But he's saying he willingly gave of his life. This was the ultimate sacrifice. I can only speak for me and my tribe of people.
so what was your cause of death?
Um, it would have been, my neck would have been, he's showing me this and he's showing me this.
Okay.
Like,
All right.
like it would have, I don't know if it would have been like a cut or
Or
a
strangulation.
hanging.
Yeah.
I don't, yeah, because he's just doing this.
So
Like,
were you dead before you um, were placed in the bog?
yes. The
Okay.
reason I was placed in the bog was because of the petrification
Oh,
that happens to
yes.
the body. It
Yes.
was known. We traveled to these places specifically for this ritual.
Oh, so so you're saying there was some spiritual meaning attached to the
Mhm,
bogs, right?
mhm. Yes, and
Like
there's
ensuring a person's safe passage to the afterlife. I mean, what was the spiritual? Why was it so spiritual in y'all's perspective?
because there was a, remember he said early on, and he's reiterating, there, you, if you got something, you gave something. And because the journey, as they did this sojourn, this journey of of exploration, and really this whole journey, he says, was to gather people for the tribe, to gather
Oh,
people for the cause.
I see.
um, and so as we traveled, we would come across these pits, he's calling it, these pits, and they are sacred. And as a result, the travel was safe. We would then agree to sacrifice for the next leg of safety.
For the next level of safety, you say?
For the next leg of the journey to be
Oh, okay.
safe.
So yeah, let's talk more about that. So you were started out in Germany, and then where to? In terms of Earth's geography now.
Um, so the idea was, he says, to walk across the continent, to walk across, to encompass all areas of that region that were reachable by foot. Most of this journey was on foot.
Wow, yeah.
There weren't animals to take this journey with. This was on foot. and being the minimalist, you know, there wasn't a lot to take. We lived off the land.
Yeah.
We ate from the land. We clothed from the land. Everything was off the land.
Did you hunt for prey?
Oh, yes.
Like what, rabbit? What did you have? Spears or?
It was spears, he says, and a lot of it was, he's showing me how they made traps.
Oh, okay.
It had to do with, and it's, he's showing me, it looks like basket weaving, like ancient, I don't know if they're palms or what they are, but there's ancient weaving happening.
Okay.
And then there's the capturing of, so that was one way. If you were going to take a life, you needed to make sure that you instantly got sustenance from that life.
Yeah.
You could not take a life for no reason.
Yeah, because it'd spoil? Is that why?
Well, to take a life for no reason
Oh, no, I thought
would be eternal damnation.
Oh, yeah, no, okay, gotcha. Oh, gosh, let's see. Have you reincarnated at all in this time?
Many times I've come back.
Are you here now? Are you here now?
There are pieces of me here now.
Oh, wow.
It has nothing to do with generations.
Okay.
There's not like the biology. I could be on this earth at this moment, and my most likely incarnation would be in the science.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I bet. Okay, so I forgot to go on about the migration. So Germany to what? Did you eventually end up in Denmark?
And that all of those countries, Switzerland, or what is now known as Switzerland, was also in there. He's showing me.
Okay.
What is now Copenhagen?
That's in Denmark.
Denmark. What is now Copenhagen was a big, almost like a pilgrimage was happening to go there.
Yeah.
Now he's showing me that these, he's calling them pits.
Okay.
So these pits were created off of the composition of the earth in this little geographical area.
Okay.
So it was known inherently to my people which way to travel. There was just a knowingness.
Yeah, because there's no written language, so you can't, like, there's no ancient maps or anything like that. And this, or so the chemistry of the raised bogs, not the pits, I guess, are perfect for slowing down decomposition of the body to extreme measures. And as I said, the sphagnum moss extracted the calcium, leaching all the calcium from the bones of the bodies. Did those who put you in the bog know about that?
We understood that there was a preservation that would happen.
Okay.
We also believed that you could come back and reclaim that body.
Ooh, have you seen it? I would if I were you.
If you were in fact a sacrifice.
Oh, okay.
We now know that that's not the truth.
Okay. All right, tell us about bog butter, that edible waxy substance made out of dairy or meat. Recently, a turf cutter found 22 pounds of bog butter in Ireland, thought to be 2,000 years old. Was it their way of preserving butter or making butter? I mean, so they say you could eat it, actually, and it smells funky, but gross.
He's showing me that he's doing this. It was a substance that nourished the body, and in the winter months especially, it created an internal warmth.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so why did...
And actually, he says it's very healthy for you.
Oh, count me out. What is it made of? Like,
It's a
Dairy
combination.
products and meat and stuff, or?
It's a combination of ingredients, but he says a big part of this is the earth.
Oh,
The
okay,
earth,
yes. Okay.
all the natural elements, the earth. Decomposition happens, and it's almost, oh, you know what he's showing me? Like Erik is helping me understand. It would be like as if we would put a compost pile
Oh,
together.
yes. Okay. Makes sense. That's
Mm-hmm.
right. So all the scraps and all that stuff would go in there.
Yes.
All right, awesome. Now, why did they put wooden and bronze vessels, weapons, and other objects in the bog?
One of the reasons could be that I understand could be that it took a life, it was retired, it was not needed anymore. Mostly it would have been because it was used for purposes that were less than pure.
Ah, all
So
right.
murder, you know, erroneous slaughtering. You
Yeah.
know, he's saying, like, again, he goes back to, if you're going to kill something, you best eat it right away.
Even people?
Even people.
Okay. Well, I mean, food was hard to come by, I bet. So, especially up, where it's cold and in the winter and such.
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh, did y'all have any wars with other groups of people, or were you totally peaceful?
We were as a people peaceful, but we came across various tribes that were not peaceful and challenged us. It was never in us to take a life.
Good.
And again, he's reiterating that, you know, it was all about, we might liken it to live a good life and go to heaven.
Yeah.
Like
Okay,
we
good.
we used to think, you know what I mean? Like he's saying the thought was do good and go to your final resting place in peace. Or he's not even saying your final resting place, your intermit
Okay.
resting place.
All right.
Yes.
So, did you come across any like Cro-Magnon men or Neanderthals, little
Mhm.
nests of remaining Neanderthals or anything?
He says that, you know, it's not exactly like you would think. We may have been a bit Neanderthalish, you
Okay.
know. It was a very common occurrence to see the opposition who looked like early primitive Neanderthal
Okay. I
man.
gotcha. Okay.
Mhm.
Um, well, tell me about your God. I mean, was the God of what? What do you think about? Describe your God.
What has created us has in fact created all.
Yeah.
What changes is the perception and the belief of the people. And the perception and the belief of the people is almost like he's using language I understand. So this isn't something primitive man would say, but he's
Yeah.
doing it for me. It's almost like whisper down the alley. And so you hear something, right? A
Yeah.
belief. Somebody tells somebody else, and it goes down. And all of a sudden, there is a lore around it. There is a
Ah.
belief that's created. And he says, only now, as we're talking and he's able to bring forward what he's learned, it was so different than what he knew on earth.
Wow. So, was your God like a man, a woman, an animal, or a collection of energy, or?
It became whatever I saw it to become. For my people, it was a very strange looking variation of a human and a man. I mean, a human and an animal.
Wow, like
He
what? The head
says.
of a dog and I mean,
Like he's showing me an image that I don't even know how to wrap my head around. It looks like it kind of looks like a man, but yet an ape. But
Okay.
I don't
What
know.
does the head look like?
The head is rather large. It's a bigger head. It actually, it actually has like a glow around it, and I'm just saying, it kind of looks like a lion's mane
Oh,
around
wow. Was
its
it an
head.
alien? Maybe y'all were, uh,
It's got like this main thing, and
mhm.
it has a big body. What he's showing me, and big bodies were not
No.
part of
Common,
that
yeah.
culture
Right.
because they weren't. But this is a big body, and I'm almost seeing like hieroglyphics. Like it looks like it would be carved on something he's showing me. I kind of have like a sick feeling in my stomach. Like, I don't know. I don't understand why this is so.
Help her out, Erik. What do the feet and arms look like? Hands look like?
Erik is saying that you would think it was an ape.
Okay.
It looks. It
Was it
does.
an alien?
It
Was
does.
this
Yeah. I mean, I'm saying Erik is saying it's nothing of this world.
all right? So maybe you had an encounter, um, Sir Jong, with some being or beings from another star system or planet, and then maybe they had such amazing powers that you weren't familiar with, and so you worship them. Is that what we're talking about here?
He's saying that it was Erik is telling me it's definitely not of this world that we know. Erik is
Okay.
helping me understand, because I don't even think that this man understands fully how to communicate that to me. But Erik is saying there was intervention from another galaxy.
Oh, was it one of the Anunnaki, Erik?
Erik said it's not one that, no,
Okay,
it's
we don't know about it.
not
That's
one
fine.
that we're familiar with. And Erik said it's not one that we would most likely do anything with.
Okay.
But they perceive this to be their god, because the way that it just came into be,
Oh,
it was godlike. And that's where the whisper down the alley comes
I
in.
see. Like playing teleoperator or something.
Mhm.
All right. So, what were you here to teach and learn, and or learn?
Mhm. Our early commitment to faith and belief, we may have not had all the pieces, but we understood that there was something to be gotten if you were to give something up. You might equate that in today's world to your ego.
Get rid of your ego, and the universe will reward you. Get
Mhm.
rid of your stuff, gotjunk.com, and you open up your world to more abundance. So from okay, I
So
get that.
Erik is saying, in this world, the biggest sin is gluttony.
Yes.
We
So
have such an overabundance, he said. And the more that people hurt, the more that they want. And what
I
they're
know.
going after isn't satisfying the hurt, because you can't fix the hurt externally.
No. Tell us about were you here to learn anything? Like, don't get near the bogs.
I actually, he says, want to help people understand the medicinal purposes of the bogs.
Okay.
You talk about healing in your world, and you will fabricate methods of healing, when in truth, everything you need to heal is within the earth.
Yeah.
What is in these patches, in these pits, is very medicinal in nature when it is in the right formulation.
Okay. So you weren't here to learn anything?
Um, He's not clear on what you mean.
Well, were you here to learn about,
I always learn, he says.
okay. Well, maybe this will help. Tell us about another life that most influenced your life as the Tolund man. I'm going to close it here for this question because we're going to need a part two. This is really cool.
I was not of this species.
Whoa, what?
My life was not of these species.
We're talking about, I forgot what we were talking about. Okay, got it. Another life.
I was of another species. I came from beyond.
So in another life, you were
what you would call an alien.
Okay, and tell me about your life as an alien on another planet.
It was all I can see is him showing me bright colors. Like, it's just this beautiful, the color is magenta. It's just this incredible, and it feels very warm. And he says that there is work to be done by this species that is still going on today, and they are observing us, but not because we can teach them, because they want to see where they can interject to best help us.
Oh, that's
we are
good.
Being watched, have no doubt.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so what do you call these watchers? Or do we have a name for them?
Sodicides?
Okay. Sodicides? Well, from what planet are you living?
He doesn't have a name. He just
okay, that's fine. Well,
I don't know
might
if
not have names.
I don't know if I heard it right, but it sounded like sodicides.
Well, I bet I didn't think about this, but we label and name things, but that doesn't mean that all other species do. So, well, that's very cool. Okay, so next time I want to talk about another Queen Gunhild of Norway and a bunch of other bog people. So, but it's just too much to do in this one setting. So we'll have a part two.
This was interesting to me because I don't know anything about this, but this guy is very gentle.
Oh, thank you so much. And I really appreciate you coming forward. Thank you, Veronica, for the awesome job with a very challenging channeling. And thank you, Erik. I love you so much.
Thank you, Mama.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
That's